Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Crafty Chemist. I went live about a minute early because I wanted to make sure I was set up. How is everybody doing today? I'm going to share this to the group real quick. Okay, there we go. I'm also hitting go live on Instagram. Okay, I look a little crooked. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I made it worse or better that way. Let me see. So if you're on, say hello. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. If you're on, say hello so I know you're here. If you are watching the replay, say hashtag replay so that I know that you are here. What is everybody doing today? Hi, Julie. What did you do today? Today I got an oil change in my car because we're driving to Ohio soon. So I needed to get that done. I figured if I waited till next weekend, getting everything ready, I'd probably forget. So I just went ahead this morning and did that. That was pretty quick though. And then I've been doing yard work the whole rest of the day. I mowed the lawn and I've been weeding the flower beds in the back. So I'm hoping my arms last throughout the whole live because they're tired. Oh, so you guys went and bought your equipment. I can't wait to see how it looks, how things go. Hope it works fine. Um, so while I'm waiting a minute or two for people to come on, I wanted to talk about the virtual album retreat. I didn't bring my iPad down. Let me get my iPad real quick. Wasn't charged up very much, so. Okay, so Stampin' Up is having their first album retreat. It's a virtual album retreat, and they just released the kit that you purchased. The retreat is free. You don't have to register or anything like that. See if I can find it on here. Oh, I didn't mean to hit the piggies, but that's cute. Isn't that cute? Let's see if I can search for album. I'm surprised it didn't pop up. Okay, here we go. This is a perfect album for, I would say, baby's first year of marriage, something like this, or just if you want to record, a yearly event. It's perfect. So it's called Month by Month Virtual Album Retreat, and it comes with. I love how they say it doesn't come with expedited shipping several times. You get the supply kit, and it comes with everything that you need for 24 pages, so 12 layouts. Um, and what's special about these, which is amazing, is that um, they all come pre-cut. So look at this. They have cut all of the paper for you. So it's all cut, and you can see here it's all in packages. And so literally you are just putting it together. So I think that is absolutely amazing. Close to My Heart used to do these every year, maybe a couple times a year. I don't remember. I never did one with Close to My Heart, but um everybody really loves it. So here's the January, February, March, April, May, June. So you can see it's themed for each month, July. And there's an exclusive stamp set, I know, September, October, November, and December. So can't you see how it'd be perfect for um, baby's first year or whatever? So it does come with an exclusive um, stamp set. It's an exclusive Facebook group where you will put them together, and the live stream will be on July 16th through the 18th. Okay, it's a private Facebook group. The videos will be recorded so you can do them later. So it does not include an album, so don't expect that, but you can easily purchase an album. Um, so wanted to see if it says about what it comes with. Supply kit, it's exclusive stamp set and die cuts, pre-cut pieces of designer series paper and two-tone cardstock, embellishments. There's flip flaps and memory protectors. And the one big thing about these virtual album retreats is that you learn a lot of techniques. I think that there is a different technique or something on each page. Like I said, I have never done that, but this is what I hear. That each page has, you learn something new. So not only are you getting the pa- pages and all the papers and everything pre-cut, but you're also learning about the different techniques. So I just wanted to tell you about that. Um, I know it seems expensive. It is $250. Um, you do get your Stampin' Rewards on that though. So if you, um, get $250, if you spend $250, then you get the Stampin' Rewards on top of that to spend later. And if you're a demonstrator, you get your discount off of that. So we are still having, oh, did it end? I wonder if I had to look at the end date for the becoming a new demonstrator. Just say if we were having this special to become a new demonstrator, you can get the 25% off in addition to your Stampin' Rewards. So it would be a good time to sign up if you were thinking about doing the album kit. So it is expensive, but you get 24 pages, basically, right? You get 24 pages. That's like $10 a page, $12 a page. Not quite $12 a page, but you're learning all the techniques. Everything's cut for you. So I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up for everybody. And let's see, was there anything else that I wanted to talk about? I don't know. I think that might be it. Um, so this is what we're going to be doing today. Making this beautiful beach layout. And I'm going to be using the Notes and Totes bundle. So I know last week we did the cards. And so this week I thought we'd make a scrapbook layout with it. Okay, so here's the stamp set. It's got some really nice sentiments. Um, it also has these sort of newsflash titles, which I'll show you. You can see here how I used it. Um, it goes with one of the dies really well. You can use this for anything, like on cards and that, but there is a die in the die cuts that's really cute. You can make your own like background paper, really nice. And then here are the dies, and I've been using them. I was using them yesterday, so they're kind of um, all over the place because I was using them. But you've got the tote. I should really cut these out to show you sometimes. This is the book or the magazine that goes with these stamps here. Um, these pieces are the decorative pieces. Like I brought my little 3D piece here. It's these pieces, and then this one is actually goes on the bottom, but I didn't put that on the 3D one, but goes on the bottom. Let's see. There's two different types of handles. There's these kind of handles, and then there's this handle, which I did use on the scrapbook layout. So I thought I'd show you the different handles. So I'm using this one today. There's a water bottle, which I used here, seashell, a little pocket. This is the pocket for the tote. The sunglasses, which I have the sunglasses here. Aren't those cute? And then this is the fence. So you can see here I have the fence pieces. Um, okay, so this makes the fence. You can put a little uh, scarf on your bag, and I did use the background stamp, I think, for that one. Let's see, what else did I not show you? They got this little lotion bottle. And then this is the suntan lotion that I put there. And then there's a little starfish. So there's so many cute things to make a nice beach scene. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Yeah, that Julie, they pre-cut the album retreat, and they apparently they did that with Close to My Heart, and they're, carrying that over now that they're doing it with Stampin' Up. And so I guess because there's 24 pages to make, they don't want you to be cutting everything. I don't know. Hi Jean, hi Diana. So looks like my phone keeps slowly dropping. Okay, so why don't we get started so we can put this together? Okay. I'm starting with a Night of Navy 12 by 12 base page. And I invite you to craft along with me because this is a really easy page. And even if you don't have the notes and totes, you can do all of the rest of it and then put whatever decorations you want down here. In fact, I might put a couple decorations on here that are not part of the notes and totes just to show you. Okay, but this is a Night of Navy 12 by 12 cardstock, and this is the single color cardstock. Not, now our cardstock is two-tone in the 12 by 12. I did gut this, and I cut it at about, I left a border of 1 inch around, and then I was able to use the pieces that I cut out for the border, the mats there. Okay, so let's do that. You don't have to gut your paper if you don't want to, but I'm going to do it. So I'm going to line it up with the 1 inch on the right. And then I'm going to start my blade at 1 inch down and then I hit the 1 inch before, so at 11. And then I will turn it. Do the same thing, start at the 1 inch, and I'm using the ruler that's on the side here. How far how much you leave around the border is not important because obviously you don't see it, but you want to leave enough space so that this piece that we're putting on top will cover it. So I'm being fairly generous by leaving 1 inch. Okay, there we go. Okay, so then I can use these to make the mats there. Okay. Okay, now I don't know if you can tell, but this is a pattern paper. It's like I would say a linen weave. I don't know if you can see that there. Wait to see. Okay, yeah. Okay, and this is part of this is called Woven Textures. And while I'm thinking about it, let me drop the link to my resource page that has all of these products listed for you. If you ever watch a live and you want to find the products that I used, you can go to my website at thecraftychemist.stampinup.net, and I have a page on there that says projects, and then there's resources that has lists all of the products that I used. And I try and put those. I try and make a resource page for every project. The only time I don't is if it's just like a kit or I'm only using one one product, then I don't. But look at these. Um, it's all about sort of these woven textures. So you can see this is a paper that I used on the bag. So I think this set goes really nice with this Notes and Totes bundle. This one is kind of a almost like a linen weave, but it's bigger. Maybe like hemp. This is like a I don't know, a rug. I could kind of feel this as a rug. Let's see what the backside is. Oh, look at that. Like a rattan. Nice. Look at this one. This would be really pretty as a the center of your page or something. Isn't that cool? And then the back is this kind of a wicker. This would be, pretty for a basket too. Let's see. Is that everything? Okay, this is the one that we are going to use. And then the back side is this. It's also kind of a wicker, but it's a diagonal kind of weave. But I'm using this one. This paper is so interesting. Like there's so many uses for it. And I cut this, let me make sure. I think I cut this at 11 and a half. Yeah, 11 and a half. So I only have about a 1/4 inch border on each side. Okay. So I'm only going to cut a 1/2 inch off. I wanted a little bit of design, a little bit of texture, but I didn't want it to be too busy, you know? Okay, I hope I cut that right because I was talking, wasn't paying attention, but I think I did. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put adhesive around the edge of the back side, right along the edge. The thing is that you don't want to put it too far in, otherwise it will, go into the open space and then it'll stick to like your page protectors and such. So you want to make sure you're right up against the edge. That is one reason to leave, about an inch border, so you have a little bit of wiggle room with this. But that's why I'm using my little hand Tombow instead of my big ATG gun, because I want to be able to be pretty precise. Okay, now I'm going to put this on and um, leave, like I said, leave a 1/4 inch all the way around the best that I can. Okay, there we go. There we go. Very nice. Okay, so now we are ready to decorate the bottom. This piece down here, I use pecan pie, and this is also 11.5 because I have it matching up with, you know, this center paper. Okay, so let's see. I've got some pecan pie, and I cut this about I would cut it about 2 inches tall. It's, you know, it depends on how much beach you want to put on um your paper. Okay. Okay. And then this is solid core, so you can't see. I want to show you the difference between the solid core paper. This is solid core 12 by 12 paper. This is white core paper that's two-toned. And so when you rip it, you can see the white. You see the white there? Here it is, you don't really see you don't see the center. Okay. But when you're ripping, I'm going to rip down one side. When you're tearing your paper, if you tear towards you, you are going to see the like fuzzy part of the paper. You see how you can see the fuzzy part? The back side is you don't see the fuzzy part. So if you want the fuzzy part to show, rip towards you. If you don't, you push it, you know, you push it back this way. Okay. Now I don't know if you can tell, but on here I did put some little sand. I stamped a little bit of sand on it, and that's part of the stamp set. So you can see right here, there's some, I'm using it as, you know, sand. So let me get this. And I don't have peach pie. I'm going to use almond, close to my heart almond. But use any kind of, you know, um, light brown color. And then I'm just going to randomly stamp this. You don't have to be too particular. I am trying to kind of be a little random. And you don't have to get every spot. And I'm trying not to make it go in a line. You can go even over places you've already stamped because the dots are just kind of random. And like I said, I'm trying to move the stamp in different ways so it doesn't look like I'm doing a straight line. And you don't have to do this if you don't have the stamp set or if you don't want to. Or if you want to, just, and you don't have the stamp set, you can either use a marker and just make dots or flick, get some ink and, you know, flick a little bit of your ink on there with a water brush, something like that, to get the color. Okay. So again, this is something that is optional, but I think it adds a little bit of texture and it's part of the stamp set, so you might as well do it. Okay, I'm not going to adhere it down yet because first I need to cut it. And then second, I want that to be on top of the blue pieces. So um, let's cut it first so that I don't forget. So I'm going to cut off 1/2 inch because it's 11.5. Okay, perfect. Now let's get our blue for the water. Let's see, what blue is this? I was thinking it's boho blue, but let's see. Let me verify because I made this a while ago. And it was part of this is it's not balmy blue. It could be close to my heart, Carolina. No, it's boho blue. Okay. I think that this was part of the two-tone cardstock that was maybe part of the storybook Friends. Okay. So I'll show you the magic of two-tone cardstock. These ones, basically, I would cut these in each about 1 inch long, wide, I guess, 1 inch wide, and 11.5 inches long. I'm going to cut 2 strips. You know, maybe I'm going to cut this one maybe 1.5. Okay. Now I put the darker piece here and then the lighter side behind it. Okay. So look at the how two-tone cardstock and how it's going to make a beautiful you know, water beach kind of setting because there's 2 tones. Or you can use, if you don't have two-tone cardstock, just use 2 different colors blue, right? One darker and one lighter. So when I'm um tearing these, I'm going to tear them towards me because I do want to see the white. It makes it look like waves are crashing, right? When you see the white. And you got those white topped waves. And since I cut this pretty thin, I'm trying to not tear it off more. You can leave yourself a little more room if you want to, but it's really kind of up in the air. Although I am trying to make it match this side so that, you know, the 2 pages go together. Okay, so that's going to go here. I do need to cut that to length. And then my lighter side, I'm going to tear again. Since I want the white to show, I'm going to have the lighter side up and then pulling towards me. Look at all those waves crashing. Have you ever been to Hawaii and to see all the big waves crashing over with the white tips? It's amazing. Okay, now let's cut both of these to 11.5 before I accidentally put adhesive on them when they're full 12 inches, which is something I would tend to do. So while I'm thinking about it, I want to get that done. Okay. So now we're going to layer this. I'm going to put the brown, the dark blue, and then the light blue. You like that wave look, Julie? Hi everybody on Instagram. Mimi Crafter. Maya Galantine. Hi, hi, hi. Okay, so I will adhere this first one down, the brown, the sand, But I will tell you, I'm not going to put adhesive right at the very top because I'm going to allow some room to stick the blue underneath. Okay, so I'm going to put this down. Okay, and you can see there's room here for me to stick this blue underneath. Okay, and then I'm only going to put it one strip down at the bottom, and again, leave room at the top to stick part of this underneath. Okay, make sure you get them nice and under. Okay. You could start with the one on the end. The reason I didn't is because I was afraid I wouldn't put it in the right spot and then it would be showing the rest, you know, there'd be white in between underneath it. So, okay, now this one, since it's the top layer, you can, you know, you can go as high as you want. Okay. Oh, here comes Darcy. I don't have the chair nearby, so he won't be jumping up on the table today. Okay, so you just want to make sure that you're covering the edge pieces so that the white is not showing. Yep. Not the white of the waves, but I'm talking about the base page. I'm trying to make this match the height of that one there. So, okay, there we go. Okay, so now we've got the beach done. Now let's do our pictures. And here I've got a 4x6 and a 4x4. Let me see if I pick some photo placeholders because sometimes I don't do the same sizes. Okay, I guess I didn't have any set out. So let's just do the same thing. I'm going to do a 4x6 and a 4x4. So I put pecan pie behind, and that is 6.5 by 4.5 for this piece. So let me find my pecan pie. Okay, so let's do 6.5. And then 4.5. And then this one is 4.5 by 4.5. 4.5 by 4.5. You don't have to double mat it, but I wanted, you know, I wanted this dark blue. I wanted to incorporate some more of the blue in there. So, okay. So this is 4.5 by 6.5, 4.5 by 4.5. Okay. And then the Night of Navy, and this is the inside part that I cut from the outside piece. Okay, so let's do 6.25, 6.25 by 4.25, and then that's for this one, and then 4.25 by 4.25. Okay. Well, Well, Darcy wasn't all that excited, so he went back upstairs. So, okay, I'm not going to put these down yet. And that's just because I want to make sure that I have room for my fence. Okay. But before we go on, let's do this piece since I have the pecan pie paper out. Let's see. And this is, let's see, this piece was about, I would say it was probably 11 inches to start with. So let's make sure this is 11 inches. Okay. And then I don't know what I did here. I just wanted it to be, I didn't want the title to just be right on here. So I wanted some color on the back. So I kind of made it look like maybe a dune or a beach or, something. So, and you can see this is square, but what I did is I kind of made it rounded. So I started at the bottom and then, did the same kind of tearing thing. And then I went back. This is different than these ones because I went straight across for these ones. Here you could see I took the corners off and then, then I'm coming back down here. Okay. And then look at this. Okay, it's a lot bigger than this one. So I'm gonna just, go back and maybe make it like around in here. And you can just play around a little bit. Let's see, how tall is this one? This is about 1.5 inches tall. So let me see how tall this is. This is about 2. So I'm gonna rip a little bit more off. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but want it to be somewhat proportional. Could I have started with a smaller piece? Maybe. Maybe. Okay. So let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay. So now why don't we cut the pieces for the decorations? Okay. My camera's getting a little bit crooked again, so let me see. I don't know if I'm going to make that. I never know which direction to turn it. So if I made it worse, I'll turn it the other way. Okay, yeah, I turned it the wrong way. Okay, hopefully that's better. So let's get out the die cuts, and I'm just going to put this right on top, and then we'll go back to it. Okay. So I'm using the mini Stamp Cut and Emboss Machine by Stampin' Up. And let's cut the tote because I know that's what everybody's interested in is the tote. So this is the tote piece. And then I'm going to use this paper because I have it here. Or do you think I could do the other side so it's different. Let's do the other side just so we don't have two of the same totes. Okay. So I'm going to put this down. This piece I cut about 3.5 inches tall. That's tall enough to fit this on here. Now, if I were doing this side, what I did here is I did try to center it so that You know, you can see through the center, and I don't know if you can tell, there's these diamonds here. I kind of centered the diamond on that. But since I'm doing this side, um, it doesn't really matter. The one thing is, since these do have kind of lines, right? It's weaved, or woven, I guess. Um, you do want to try and make it straight, right? Perpendicular to the line so that your basket doesn't look, crooked. Okay, here is my tote. And well, let me show you how it is. There is a fold here. I'm going to score it with my bone folder, and this is to help uh, glue it down. But also, when you're making when you're making a 3D thing with two of them, um, you use these flaps to glue the two pieces together. I don't know if you can see that there. Okay, and then you can push this up. And then this little piece here is only needed if you are going to make a 3D, because this part um, kind of makes the edge close. Okay, so we will be cutting that off. There's another fold here that helps. You can see here, see how it makes these go back to make it more kind of bag-like. And it's hard to see on here, but they are marked. Let me show you the die. What did I do with the die? Oh, here it is. I want to show you. You can see there's a mark, there's a line here and the line here, score marks here, here, and here, there. Okay. When you're doing it flat like this, you don't necessarily have to worry about folding those. That is just so you can make 3D, or if you want to make it pop up from the page, you can leave that. But like I said, I am going to cut this little flap off because I'll tell you why. Um, the little piece sticks out even when you fold it up under. So okay. Okay, so we got this. Let's work on the fence. And here I did kind of a white. And then I kind of inked it up a little bit. So let's get the fence pieces. Okay, when you cut the fence, it cuts 3 fence pieces and, whoops, 1 rail. So you can see there's 3 fence and then 1 rail. So if you want to make one thing like this, you need to put this through twice. Okay. Okay. So since I did 2 fence things, I'm going to do it 4 times. If I have enough paper here. Okay. Okay. So thanks, Marty. Punch these out. So here's one. And can you see it's got little wood, like grain indentations in it? Okay. Okay, let's do another one. run it through. Okay, again, let's punch these out. And all of our dies have these little holes that help you get these out if it doesn't fall right out. Okay, so here's 1, 2, and 3. These are the fence pieces, and then the rail. So by doing it twice, I have enough to do one of these fence things. You do want to be careful when you take these out, because you see how um, some of them have little pieces that stick out. So if you rip it too hard, you could rip the pieces. So you don't want to do that. Okay, so that's 2. Let me get some more of the white. Okay, I'll do it 2 more times. You could potentially put 2 sheets of paper together and do it all the way, just go through once. I'm a little bit afraid to do that, so I usually don't. Yeah, they do. They look weathered. And I have seen people in some samples kind of curl the edges, or, do different things to make it look even more weathered. On a YouTube video that I'm working on for July, actually my July YouTube hop video, I'm using these, and I actually used wood grain paper from the Country Woods collection. So you could do that. And you could make these on if you want brown fence posts, right? You could use brown. I think on the beach a lot of times it's white, so that's why I went with this white. And truthfully, I think this might be like French vanilla, because it's not bright white. Okay, one more time. And then we're done with the fence. And then we'll cut the other fun pieces. What I love about this set is there's so many fun pieces that you can use to build your scene that you want. I'm not going to try and fit that there because I want to go fast for you. Okay. Okay. I think after this, I'm going to put the fence up, just so that I'm not just cutting, and then we'll go back and decorate. Just because I know it's kind of boring to watch me cut so many times. But I did it. I ran this through 4 times, and I got the 2 fence posts. Okay. One more. Okay. Let's see. Now, what I did do to these, I'm just going to use this scrap paper. Well, this isn't really scrap. Let me use this. I took these pieces because it's pretty white to me. So I took a little finger dauber. Let's see. And I used a light color like this. I'm going to use the almond again. And I just kind of went over some of the pieces like this, just to kind of dirty them up a little bit. And make sure you're doing it on the side that's the right side. There's definitely a right side and a wrong side. And I'm not even like inking up in between. I just felt like the white was a little bit too, stark white. So let's do that to all these pieces. This is a really light brown color. And you might not even be able to see this difference on the screen, but it is kind of just roughing them up, dirtying them up a little bit. I know. Can you see? Can you see the colors? Let's see. Let me put up some of the white ones. Like I said, these were, you can see, can you see how it's a little bit, have to, it's on delay, so let me see. Yes, you can definitely see the difference there. So it helps a little bit. Okay. This is another thing that is optional, but it will kick your scrapbook layout or your cards up just a notch, right? By just doing this really easy thing. It really helps. Okay. Okay. Well, there we go. Let me put that back in my... I'm feeling like I need to get new daubers for the Stampin' Up colors because those are all close to my heart colors. Okay. So let's put the fence down so that we can put the other pieces down. Okay. And so I'm putting 6 on one side and 6 on the other fence piece. And I am trying to just randomly do these so that it's not the same direction, because you can see that the lines on here, you see how they go together. Well, actually it looks like there's um at least 3 of them have different designs. So okay, so I'm gonna put 3 or 6 over here and then 6 over here. And then before I'm putting these down, I'm spacing them out so that they're, even. Okay. And if you want, you can make it more, um, like here, you can tell that there's 2 fence things. If you want it to be one straight fence, you can put them closer together. Okay. I put these on the outside. I have seen, um, people put them on the back side, so it just depends. But before you glue these down, you want to make sure these should go across all of them. So make sure that these are close enough that your rails are going to, you see how there's a little bit on each end? Okay. Okay, so now let's adhere these down. And I'm trying to keep these in place so I don't mess up my spacing. But like Julie said, these, um, you can make these so that it looks like I'm not putting them necessarily straight line across because, you know, they're kind of weathered at the top and bottom, especially at the beach, and they're in the sand. So, um, they're not always tapped down into the sand all of the same. Okay, so I'm alternating them just a little bit, not a lot, because you still want them to be able to, the rails to be able to go across them. Okay. And then one more. Okay, then put the two rails across. And I'm putting them so that it's kind of in the blue, like centered in that top blue area. You just want to put them in a place that looks good and then obviously looks realistic. I mean, you wouldn't want to put both of them down here in the brown. So there's one set. Now let's do this one. Let's make sure that they're close enough for the, yeah, see, they're a little bit too far. Okay. And then do the side. And if you don't have this stamp set or die set, you can just cut rectangles. And these are, let's see, these are about 3.5 inches tall. So cut, you know, 6 strips that are 1/2 inch by 3.5 inches tall. And then they can look like a fence post. So you don't necessarily have to have this. I think it looks good with all the markings in that, but you could just cut this out of paper. And if I were doing that, if I were just going to make a fence out of, you know, rectangles, I might use the wood paper, right? Find some of that country wood paper and then, you know, cut the rectangles out of the wood. And I think one more. That would be my recommendation. So like I said, this is really easy. I mean, I know I'm using the Notes and Totes, but you could make this with other, um, without that, you know, because the base of the layout is very, you know, basic. I mean, standard. Okay. Okay, let's see. I've also seen people kind of make these look like they're kind of falling down or whatever. So, okay. Um, now that these are up, I know how far down they are. I can put these pieces down. So I'm going to put the pecan pie first. And I'm leaving you know, a little bit above here. It's about 1/4 of an inch. Oh, uh-oh, guys. Ran out of adhesive. I brought I brought a second one here just in case because I know my luck. But do I get bonus points for running out during a live? Okay. And then let's put the Night of Navy. This is pecan pie. This is Night of Navy. feel like this is a little bit crooked. I don't know if I can make it straighten it out. Probably not worth the attempt, but there, I straightened it out a little bit. It was bothering me because it was, now I might have overdone it. But. Okay. And now, before I put this down, I did notice on this one that I also put the sand stamp. Let's see, where does stamp set go? I almost thought I lost the stamp set. I'm like, I just had it. So I'm going to quickly do the sand on here, just to, and only because I did it on this one, so I want it to be the same. And again, I'm using almond, but you can use a light. You can even use actually Versamark. And I'm trying to go kind of on and off, twist my stamp around so it doesn't look like it's just all in a straight line. Okay. See how fast that was? It took me longer to find the stamp set than to do that. Okay. Put that away so I don't lose it. And now let's adhere that down. If you wanted to put your title on a straight rectangle and not, you know, rip it like this, you could do that too. And I'm just going to center it here. And then I cut this on my Cricut Beach Vibes. I really, when I was doing this, I was like, I wish I had those big dies, the new alphabet dies that are in the catalog, the big letters. I was like, oh, I so wish I had those. But I'm actually saving my Stampin' Rewards. That's what I'm going to buy with my Stampin' Rewards. Okay. I'm going to start with the B since it's the center. I'm going to put it right along the 6. You could put whatever title that you want though. I wish I had cut these just ever so slightly bigger. But you know, I cut them and they worked. But for some reason, when I cut them on my Cricut, I didn't have the height right. I don't know. I had the height of the box and not the height of the letters for some reason. So anyway, it was smaller than I wanted, but I still think it looks good. Okay, now let's put our tote down. I am going to put it down first and then I'll decorate it. So I'm going to put adhesive on the inside of these flaps to make it stick to here because we don't need them. If you were going to make it 3D, then you kind of need that. And then, or if you wanted it to pop out at all, like stick out and stick things, Like if we wanted to stick some of the stuff behind it, um, I might have left that open, but I'm gonna glue it straight down to the page. Okay, now let's make these. And here I did use pecan pie. So let me put this back over here to show you how you can decorate them. I'm hoping I have some pecan pie left. There we go. I've got some pecan pie left. So I used this handle and then these trim pieces. Okay. How many of you purchased this set, this bundle? I've been having so much fun with it. I made cards, made the scrapbook layout, and now I'm doing a special, well, I made the gift box, right? These little treat boxes, gift boxes. And I've got another fun fold card video like I said, coming out in July. And there's so many ways to decorate these. Here we go. Let's put this back over here. Okay, now when you use this handle, you put these in a little bit different place than when you do this handle. And look at the comparison. Do you see how this handle, I put the decorative pieces so that it went straight down. Here you put them right along where the score line is. Okay. So just FYI. So let's put this one down first. Okay. And this goes on the bottom. And then let's put these down. And I'm going to put them down before I put the handle down, but you want to use it to help you guide it. And then I am going to trim this right at the base. You could put this down first and then put this over top, but I really didn't want it to be doubled over and bunched up right in that spot there. I don't know if that makes sense. You know, I didn't want this to be bulky right there. So, okay. You could put the patch or the pocket on this if you want. I'm not going to on this one since I put the pocket on this one last week when I did the cards and that. So you saw how to do that. Okay. Okay, now let's adhere this down. Should we put a little tie on there? Okay. And I've used, this is peach. I think this is peach. Let me see. There we go. Peach. Maybe. Oh no, it's petal pink, guys. Petal pink. I'm using my close to my heart names, I guess. Okay, so let's cut both of these out at the same time. And I am making it the same. I probably would have done it differently, you know, might have different decorations, but I'm putting this the same so that you can see what I did. Okay, so let's put this down. I just noticed I left the handle in the last time I cut it. Okay. We're getting so close, guys. Come on. There we go. Julie got the Notes of Totes. I know the tie is really, really cute. And it's really cute if you cut this out of pattern paper. I'm using this petal pink because I did stamp. I wanted to show you how you could stamp on it. There's also the little water bottle, like carabiner clip if you want to put it on there. I don't think I did on mine, but oh. So there's a little carabiner you can. Let's see. If you want to put it on. I don't think I did, but I'll check. Okay. Let's stamp on here. And I am going to use I'm going to use this stamp set. Or this stamp. Again, it's part of the bundle. And I don't have petal pink, so I'm going to use melon, which looked similar to me. This is a close to my heart melon. Oops. And then just stamp on there. Look how cute. Or you can use pattern paper if you want. And on the bottle, you can stamp, I'm going to stamp the hibiscus. Or you can stamp the water if you want to. Let's see. I'm going to do the little hibiscus. Again, I'll use the melon just to be easy. And I put this so that the hibiscus was up and down and it kind of, in the center, but it does overhang because it's going to wrap, it's like it's wrapping around the bottom. Okay, so those two. I'm going to put this aside. I don't think I'm going to use it, but you could. So let's put the scarf on here. Just putting it right on the handle. Okay, so we got the bottle. Let's do the suntan lotion. Okay, so let's see, the suntan lotion, I'm using this color, which I don't remember what color it is. I'm going to use that one. Suntan lotion bottle. He's so cute. Okay, suntan lotion. Here we go. Look how cute that is. I'll put these here in the blue so you can kind of see them. Got the little starfish. So cute. I think this actually might be melon from Close to My Heart. I couldn't think of a good color from Stampin' Up to use, but if anybody can think, I used Cajun Craze in my card, and I wasn't super excited about that, but okay, let's do the conch fish or the conch shell. And this one is almond from, no, it's shortbread. This is shortbread from Close to My Heart. But you could use, I think in my card I used maybe basic beige. Look how cute this one is. Okay. And then what else is there? The sunglasses, is that it? Oh, then the newspaper or whatever. Let's do the sunglasses. So these are so cute. The sunglasses are a two-step thing. So let's do that. And I did it in Night of Navy to kind of go with the vibe that I had going on. Okay. Look how cute these are. So you get the outside and the inside pieces. I'll put these here. And you can use these if you want. See, I didn't. I cut that a little bit too short. It's okay, I'm not going to use this piece anyway. Well, I might. Let me see. It was a little bit too close to the edge and it didn't cut off that little tab piece there. So let's see. Let me cut another one out. There we go. It got shifted in when I was turning it. There we go. This will be better. Okay. You could save these hearts and use them for other things. I mean, you'll use some for your glasses, but you'll have some left over. Okay, so what I decided to do for the frames was use some silver, like mirrored. I made these like mirrored sunglasses, which I thought was cute to do some mirrored sunglasses. You can do, I mean, if you have like a transparency film or something like that, that would be cute. Or you can just do a very light, like a basic beige or something like that if you wanted. But I have Ray-Ban aviators with the um, silvered um, frame, silvered. What is that part? The glass part or whatever is silvered. So I thought that would be kind of cute. Okay. And also, if you want to make, some people have metal frames, or you can make cute little, this is like metal sunglasses. Okay, is that all of the pieces that we cut? Let's see. Oh, the newspaper. We got to do the newspaper. Don't want to forget that because that's the fun part. Okay, so this is like a book, a magazine, newspaper, whatever you want it to look like. I made mine kind of like a newspaper. I cut this white very tight against this, so I don't got a lot of room to work with here. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, now we can move this. Okay, so you can see it makes like a book shape. You got the little center part and then the part at the top where you can stamp on. So I am going to stamp, let's see, what did I stamp on this other one? I stamped So Grateful, a True Story. So I'm going to do Newsflash, You're Fabulous. And there's also exclusive made just for you. So this is cute. This is really cute for a card, but it's cute on here too. So these are supposed to be the titles on the newspaper or the book. And if you want to make it a book, wouldn't it be fun to somehow to like draw like a cover? Or actually you could print off, I think you could print off your favorite book. Like you could print off the Pride and Prejudice cover and make it fit in there and uh stick it right in there. Wouldn't that be cute? Okay, now I wanted to try and find a stamp that had writing. So if you have the I don't know what there's a stamp set that has like background writing. It's like text, something textures, I think it's called. That would be really cute. I wanted something that looked like writing, but I didn't have any. And then I remembered that I have this paper packet, Sweet as Honey from Close to My Heart. You guys remember this one? And there was a sheet of paper that had like a newspaper or something on it. So um I use this. If you guys remember this one, this is the one where Megan and I are in the scrapbook. I mean, on the scrapbook pages in the catalog. Um, this is the stamp set. Okay, so I cut it to fit. Let's see. I'm gonna cut it right above that. All right. So this just kind of makes it kind of like a newspapery. I thought it was kind of cute. But you could stamp on here, you could draw, you could put anything. Like you could put a dog or, make it a book about something. But okay, so I'm going to put this on here. Just make it like it's a newspaper. So if you have any paper or, like I said, stamp, that would be really cute. Okay, let's finish putting these together now. think we've got all of our parts that we need. You guys with me? Okay, let me just check on Instagram real quick. Hi, all of you on Instagram. Welcome. I'm making this Notes and Totes scrapbook layout. Okay, so um, we're just going to kind of layer these however we want. Oh, you know what? I didn't stamp on this one. Let's stamp on this one. I forgot. Where'd my little, here we go, the stamping thing go? And on this one, I'm going to use honey butter. And then I'm going to put the sun. And I think by doing that, you make it look like it is a, sunblock. I mean, you can kind of tell, but okay, and just center it right on there. There you go. Guys, I'm making a big mess here. You should see my crafter math. Because I'm trying to make, it's taken longer than what I was expecting to do this simple layout. Okay. Maybe not. I did talk about the virtual album retreat, so maybe that's why. Okay. So we're just going to kind of layer these, the conch shell, the starfish, and then I'm going to put the sunglasses. Now to make the sunglasses, I'm taking the blue, this piece of the blue, not the one that's got the outline, but the one that's the whole thing, and then I put these inside. You also could take the frame and then put these, fit these inside if you want. I found it easier just to put it on top of there. So let's just glue these down. It does make them a little bit dimensional. Okay, I'm gonna center this. The one thing with the silver papers, you got to make sure that you don't get adhesive or anything on the top, because it kind of, you can't get that off and then it doesn't look mirrored. Okay, there we go. So there's my sunglasses. Okay, I think we've got everything. Oh, Darcy's getting angry. Can you hear him barking? Okay. Okay, so let's put this down. I'm gonna put the newspaper down first because that's what I want in the back. And the one thing is I am adding a lot of adhesive. One, because that's how I am. That's who I am. But also this is going to be pretty bumpy because it's got all of those pieces. So, you want to make sure that it's adhering to something. Okay, let's put this guy next, my little water bottle. Gonna put him like that. The sunblock. Now the sunblock, when I did the card, I did cut another one and then made the top and the bottom a darker color to make it stand out, but I didn't on this one because there's a lot going on. So, okay, the conch shell. I'm gonna put it like that. And then the starfish. I put over here. And then let's see the sunglasses. I'll put right down there. I had thought about putting a bicycle. I'll show you what I had thought about putting. I had it setting out in case I wanted to, but I decided to make it the same so you could kind of see, but okay. Here's the sunglasses. I just kind of reversed it. So I was thinking about putting this cute bike up against the fence, but then I thought scale wise, the bike the bike is this size, which would have been cute up against the fence, but then compared to the tote, it would have looked funny. So I second thought that. But I was thinking about it. If I didn't have the totes on there, if I just put the bike, it would have maybe been cute, but I already had the tote over there. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions while I get photo placeholders to put on here. Ask your questions. Okay, here's my photo placeholders. I thought I had them out with my stuff, but apparently I did not. Thanks, Jean. It is cute. Cute. I love the. I'm so glad that I had some of that paper. It was so cute. Next week we're doing a fun fold card. Let me see. Here's the fun fold card. It's using the celebratory sips paper and a stamp set. And this is kind of an interesting card. So this is what we're doing next week. So if you have celebratory sips, get that out or order it so you can have it in time. And if you guys make the scrapbook layout using the notes and totes, I'd be really interested to see what you make. So last week I did the cards using notes and totes, and I did the 3D treat box. This week the scrapbook layout, so you can go back and watch the other if you want. And then next week is the celebratory sips. Also, heads up, there is a special starting on Tuesday, a buy one, get one 50% off special. I will post about it to give you all the details, but they say, and the people who have been with Stampin' Up for longer than I have, I just did my 1 year anniversary, said that they've never had a sale like this before. Buy one sweet products and get 150% off. Plus you get your Stampin' Rewards. So it's gonna be a really good set. Okay. Well, thanks for joining. I will see you guys next week. Oh, actually, yeah, see you next Sunday to do the card. On Friday, I'm doing the May paper pumpkin kit together. So on Friday, we're going to be doing the kit together, and then Sunday I'll be doing the celebratory sips card. Okay, thanks for joining. I'll see you next week or on Friday. Bye.